Hello and welcome to the New Indian Express. Nilambur is a town in Kerala located close to the Nilgiris range of the Western Ghats. The Muslim dominated constituency is set for bypolls on June 19th. This election has become the most hotly debated topic in Kerala. This bypoll also has national relevance as Nilambur is under Wayanad Lok Sabha constituency whose MP is Priyanka Gandhi. Priyanka also campaigned for the UDF in Nilambur. Most political pundits believe that the election result will be a premonition of who will win the next Kerala state election. With high voltage public campaigns and stinging accusations against each other, all three fronts look to secure victory in what might be one of the most important bypolls of recent times in Kerala. If the Congress fails to win, it may also affect popular vote of Priyanka Gandhi. To talk to us on this issue, we have political observer Dr. Mohan Verghese who shall explain what is at stake in Nilambur. Hello, sir. Welcome to the New Indian Express. Now, the Nilambur by-election is one of the talking points all around Kerala. The question on everybody's mind is, will the result of the Nilambur by-election be a premonition to who will rule Kerala in the next state elections?
The stakes are very high for both the ruling LDF and the main opposition UDF, because Nilambur may be just one constituency and the Kerala State Legislative Assembly term will be over in about 8 months' time. So whoever wins the election makes absolutely no difference when it comes to the longevity of the government. But what is important is a totally different thing. This is the final grand finale or just the semi-final before the grand finale that comes up in 2026, the state election. We have the UDF, which is very powerful in that region, and that region or Eastern Malappuram district has been the fiefdom of Aryadan Mohammed, a veteran Congress leader, whose son Aryadan Shaukat is in the fray at the moment. So Aryadan Shaukat lost election once, a couple of terms before, to a leader called P.V. Anwar. It has been Anwar's fiefdom for last two elections, 2016 and 2021. Independent candidate P.V. Anwar, who was erstwhile a Congress party leader, who fell out with the Congress leadership and remained independent, but backed by the LDF. So LDF has a very good organizational machinery in that region. And with the help of Anwar's own fan following and with the help of the LDF votes, this UDF bastion was won by the independent experience. This is an experiment that LDF conducted. On their own, it is very difficult to get an LDF candidate, CPM candidate, that's a CPM constituency, candidate under the symbol hammer, sickle, and star. So that is not a very easy thing because this is a Muslim-dominated region. And Muslim League has been hyperactive, and Congress Party also is very dominant. So, although CPM is a dominant party there, on their own, it is almost next to impossible to get a party candidate elected. So, they tried the independent route, and they backed the P.V. Anwar, who won with a massive margin in 2016, but the margin was reduced in 2021. But this time around, P.V. Anwar fell out with the LDF. He has been unleashing a scathing attack against the state chief minister, Mr. Pinarayi Vijayan, and the so-called corrupt establishment that is ruling Kerala, and a lot of inefficiency in the governance, etc., etc., etc. So therefore, he resigned from the party and he resigned from the LDF establishment and relinquished the MLA-ship. He relinquished his seat, necessitating a by-election at the fag end of the term of the assembly. So that means technically Nilambur is a sitting LDF seat. Going by the original or already existing standards, whoever won the election, whenever the by-election takes place, the incumbent party, the new candidate of the incumbent party, win the election. That is the norm that happened in the earlier by-elections in Puthupalli, where the former chief minister Umman Chandi Umman Chandi died, and his son Chandi Umman, the Congress candidate, won with a thumping margin in Puthupalli constituency. That's a couple of years back. Then after that, There was election in two more other constituencies. In Palakkad, there was a recent by-election where the ruling, that incumbent was contesting the parliament election. Shafi Parambil was the MLA. He contested the parliament election from Wayanad and won, necessitating a by-election in Palakkad. That Palakkad election also is won by Congress, who fielded a young Turk within Congress. The state youth Congress president, Rahul Mankuttatil, contested and won the election, and that too with an improved margin. And before that, there was an election in Trikakara, a seat held by veteran Congress leader P.C. Thomas. So that is P.T. Thomas. So P.T. Thomas died, and his wife Uma Thomas contested and won, and that again with a thumping majority. So only one election that LDF won was the LDF sitting seat, that is Chelakara. Chelakara was won by LDF with a reduced margin. Going by that standard, there is a clear anti-incumbency spirit. I can't call it a wave, it's a spirit. That is capitalized by the UDF. Although one election is won by LDF with a much reduced margin. There was a 30,000 plus margin that the LDF candidate won earlier. In the by-election, LDF won with a wavered margin. Therefore, the move to the state generally was assumed to be a change-oriented move. And Pinarayi Vijayan, the chief minister, two-time chief minister, that means, almost 9+ years of incumbency naturally generates anti-incumbency effect and a lot of corruption charges against himself, his daughter, and his party leaders, etc., etc., etc. So that was an ideal condition which UDF thought PV Anwar would back UDF and he would enter UDF was the general assumption. He tried to form a party called his own party, then he dropped the idea. He wanted to join Dravida Munneta Kazhagam, led by Stalin, MK Stalin, the Tamil Nadu party. And Stalin said, no, we can't let you in. And then he approached Mamata Banerjee of Bengal, Trinamool Congress. And the Kerala Trinamool Congress is a party which has no roots, absolutely. There's no mass following for the Trinamool Congress in a state far away from Bengal. But Trinamool was an experiment. But the important thing is that PV Anwar chose to adopt a battling spirit. There he was bargaining with the UDF. As much as he used to bargain with the LDF earlier, he was trying to bargain with the UDF establishment for his own future. Although he is willing to support the UDF candidate, he wanted to decide the candidate. And he even went to the extent of proposing the name of V.S. Joy, the Youth Congress, the leader, the district president of Congress party in the Malappuram district. So he's a very familiar face in the region. It's from that region itself, but it is not for Anwar. Congress decided, UDF decided, it is not for Anwar, who is not a part of UDF establishment, to propose the name of the candidate for the UDF candidate. But UDF has zeroed in on, including Muslim League, Congress, and other parties, decided to field Aryadan Shaukat, a very eminent cultural face, has been a veteran Congress leader's son, and also he contested once and lost. So he has his own following. So the stage is set when Anwar decided not to support the UDF candidate and decided to go it all alone. But somehow, due to technical reasons in the nomination, by the number of supporters in the nomination, the national party called the Trinamool Congress could not accept him as a candidate, or the election commission did not accept him as the Trinamool Congress candidate. So he is contesting as an independent candidate backed by Trinamool Congress and also Aam Aadmi Party, which is a slight presence in Kerala state. It is generally believed that this factor, the Anwar factor, the PV Anwar factor, is to be taken very seriously. Although he is unlikely to win the election, it is a fact that he was two-time MLA and he has his own fan following there. And he captured so much of attention for the last couple of years in his relentless fight against the state government in the name of corruption and all other mismanagement, etc., etc., etc. And he even tried to link the connection between the CPM leadership and the BJP leadership with an underhand deal to eliminate the Congress. So that is something which captured the imagination of the Kerala public in a large way. But now that PV Anwar fell out with the Congress, he is unable to enter the UDF. UDF did not give a green signal for the entry of PV Anwar. He wanted to barge in with a bargaining power by virtue of Trinamool Congress. Technically, has been a party, has been a component of the India Front at the national level. On and off, they have been associating with the Congress. Sometimes the Congress and Trinamool have been at the loggerhead. But Congress leadership, the top leadership, Rahul Gandhi, Priyanka Gandhi, etc., and Sonia Gandhi, and also the leadership from Kerala, that is Venugopal, who happens to be the General Secretary of the Congress Party in charge of the organizational affairs. They were not very keen on giving a foothold to Trinamool Congress through the UDF route, because ultimately Trinamool has to be given a couple of seats in the Kerala Legislative Assembly if Trinamool Congress is admitted as a part of the UDF establishment. So Congress Party is unwilling to do that, was being unwilling to do that. Therefore, Anwar tried his level best to get into the Congress fold. He wanted to force the Congress leadership to ensure that he enters the UDF, but the state leadership, including the opposition leader V.D. Satishan, took a very firm stance that Anwar is not indispensable. So Anwar had to fight reluctantly on his own, and he did not get the Trinamool Congress symbol because his nomination had certain errors, which denied him the opportunity to contest in the name of the party, Trinamool Congress. So he is now contesting as an independent candidate. Whose votes he is going to eat into is a $1 million question here.
Okay, sir, I was also going to ask that question. Will PV Anwar play spoilsport to both the other fronts? Will he eat into the votes of LDF's M. Swaraj and UDF's Aryad Shaukat? That is the $1 billion question. Could you give your opinion on that?
Exactly. Now the battle lines are drawn and the picture is very clear, and the people are going to the polling booth, and we are awaiting the result. It appears to be a four-cornered contest with the CPM candidate M. Swaraj having a good fan following, a stable, credible face for the LDF, the best ever candidate that CPM can put forward. A young leader, vibrant leader, one-time MLA. Therefore, he is taken very seriously. Earlier, LDF was trying experiments, independent leaders like TK Hamsa and certain other leaders were contesting not in the LDF symbol or not in the CPM symbol, but as independent candidates backed by the LDF. Even PV Anwar was an independent candidate backed by Left Democratic Front. So Marxist Party, CPM, took a very bold decision to field one of its stalwart, the best ever candidate from that region. He belonged Mr. M. Swaraj. He is a candidate fielded by CPM contesting the Nilambur election. He is contesting with a symbol, hammer, sickle, and star. So LDF now has been reinvigorated because they had initially lost all hope of winning the election because it is a UDF, it is considered as a UDF bastion. And mind you, it is Priyanka Gandhi's Lok Sabha constituency. Sorry. Nilambur Assembly segment is one of the component of the Wayanad Lok Sabha constituency, earlier represented by Rahul Gandhi.
Yes, sir. Just
and
a question,
now,
question on that also, sir.
Now, as you said, Nilambur is part of the Wayanad Lok Sabha constituency. During the last Lok Sabha elections, Congress secured quite a lead in Nilambur. But in 2016 and 2021 state elections, LDF-backed independent PV Anwar won the elections easily. So, could you talk about why this change is being seen? Why is this difference of opinion in both these type of elections being seen?
Kerala is a very educated community. Kerala voters are informed voters generally. The level of literacy is very high. The level of political awareness is very high. They are always able to distinguish between the situation, the milieu of the Lok Sabha election and the Legislative Assembly election. They are sometimes reluctant to cast their vote in favor of LDF in the Lok Sabha election because the main opponent of BJP in the national level is Congress party, and therefore in the state, Congress party and CPM are in the opposing side. So therefore, they find no much of a reason in voting for. If it is an anti-BJP vote or anti-central government vote, then definitely people prefer to park their votes with the Congress with a pinch of salt sometimes with positive intent, sometimes out of sheer helplessness. So naturally, election after election after election, the UDF establishment, especially the Congress party's candidate, won the election from Wayanad Lok Sabha segment. There are three assembly segments: Wayanad, Sultan Batheri, Manantawadi, and Kalpata fall in the Wayanad district. There is a Tiruvambadi Legislative Assembly segment fall within the Calicut Kozhikode district in Kerala. And there are three more assembly segments. That is Nilambur, that is our present debating point, and Vandoor and one Eranad. These three segments belong to Malappuram district. Overall, it is a Muslim-dominated area. Whichever be the part, it's a Muslim-dominated area, and Muslim League has been very dominant in that region as well. So that is one of the reasons why Rahul Gandhi found Wayanad as the safest bet, even if he loses the Raebareli, or earlier he lost from Amethi. Remember, the last election before last, he lost from Amethi, but still won Wayanad. So this time around, Rahul relinquished his seat and gave it to and transferred it to his beloved sister, Priyanka Gandhi, who won and improved on the majority. So she won with a massive margin over 4,15,000 votes.
Just a question
So
on
this is a
that, sir.
massive margin.
Okay, sir, just a question on that. Now, as you said, sir, Priyanka Gandhi won the elections with an astounding margin. So, do you think that if the Congress loses this by-election in Nilambur, will it affect Priyanka Gandhi's huge popular vote?
It has nothing to do with Priyanka Gandhi because state election is fought on a different wicket, with a different paradigm. So it may not dent the popular base of the Congress party or Priyanka Gandhi. This is a constituency specific election and the Anwar based election because the election was necessitated by the resignation of the independent candidate backed by the LDF, PV Anwar. So therefore, other things like the Congress's grip over the Wayanad Lok Sabha constituency, the larger scene, is not that relevant. Therefore, it may not be a loss of face for Priyanka Gandhi, but certainly it will be food for thought for Congress party for goofing it up. If at all, Congress candidate Aryadan Shaukat loses the election, or he scrapes through with a wafer-thin margin, even if he wins with a wafer-thin margin, that is not going to be good news for the UDF because this election is seen as a test dose, the mood of the state at the last moment before the Kerala state goes to the polls in 2026. No more election coming. There can't be, even if there's a constituency falling vacant, there cannot be an election because there is not even 8 months that is there for the next election to take place. Coming back to the Nilambur situation, it is a hilly area. It is a hill area where the issues are quite different from the issues faced in other constituencies, other areas of Kerala. There is a migrant population, people who migrated from the southern districts of Kerala into the hills of Malappuram district, that is the Wayanad, that is closer to Wayanad, but it is the eastern hills, that is the Western Ghats region of Kerala, that is the eastern frontier, and this region belongs to that segment as such of the topographical feature. So Aryadan Shaukat has been really trying his level best to keep the UDF house together. That is, to highlight the issues like the man-animal conflict, which is a constituency-specific issue. There has been instances of elephant killing the people, and also the wild boar, which create havoc in the paddy in the fields, because a lot of cultivation takes place in the hills, and also there are other hill-related issues, environmental issues, etc., etc. So these issues are highlighted to generate an anti-government feeling, which needs to be capitalized by the main opposition, that is the Congress. But surprisingly, amazingly, there is a new factor which we haven't discussed till now. That is a factor called the Bharatiya Janata Party. Traditionally, BJP never had much of a hold in that constituency. BJP never used to field its candidate. Once in a while, it used to, but other times it used to give the constituency to the BDJS, the coalition partner of the NDA. And they never fared very well. The maximum that the BJP got was 17,000 votes, which was the vote received by K. Surendran when he fought the election against Rahul Gandhi in 2024 Lok Sabha election. That was the time the BJP candidate won maximum, but that is a Lok Sabha election, and Nilambur segment provided him a massive number. That is a number. He didn't win the election, of course, but that is the maximum. That is 17,000 votes. But the last election, the candidate fielded by BJP in the Lok Sabha election got only 13,000 votes, which is not a very great number. Anything less than 30,000 votes is never in the threshold. Therefore, BJP has never been taken very seriously. Now that BJP knows that it doesn't stand much of a chance, people thought that BJP will be fielding an independent candidate or backing an independent candidate or giving the seat to the BDJS. But this time around, when LDF took a decision to field M. Swaraj, BJP took a decision to field a candidate in their own symbol. That is Advocate Mohan George, a person who belonged to Kerala Congress, that is a part of UDF. Until the last moment, he was made to join BJP and given the BJP ticket and is contesting. The important thing is that it is a Christian face. He was a face in the Christian community, and he was a Sabha council member of Matama Church, and he was very active in the Christian movements like Young Men's Christian Association, etc., etc. So, Mr. Mohan George, although he is generally regarded as a weak candidate because already BJP doesn't have much of a presence, it is a symbolic fight because now that the Kerala state, there is a realignment of the religio-cultural forces in an era of Islamophobia. So when this constituency is an Islamic, it's a Muslim-dominated constituency, the minority community, Christian community, how it thinks is a billion-dollar question. So therefore, BJP bets on getting at least a segment of the Christian population to back them. This is a trend that is a statewide trend. BJP leadership has been calling on the bishops and the metropolitans of various denominations. Even Narendra Modi paid a visit and wanted to meet the Christian leadership whenever he came to Kerala. And it is a famous Easter diplomacy and Christmas diplomacy that's been going around with BJP leadership talking very smoothly with the Christian leadership or clergy forces, at least in Nilambur. It is one thought. Just when the major parties, major winnable parties, Congress and CPM, fielded minority community and majority community candidate, the Christian minority, which is a reasonable percentage, with less than 20%, but still a reasonable number, has been reasonably considered by the BJP leadership. There's the Christian minister in the central cabinet from Kerala, George Kurian, and Christian leaders, even A.K. Antony's son, Anil Antony, was given a parliament seat. He lost election from Pathanamthitta constituency. All these things are history. So therefore, as a part of the larger strategy to woo the Christian vote, BJP has been experimenting with Mr. Mohan George. It is unlikely that he will cross the 10,000 limit, which is not close to winning. But whose the vote? Mr. Anwar and Mr. Mohan George are capturing is a different ball game altogether. Even if LDF wins
Okay,
or UDF
Sir,
wins, it is likely to be a very
sir,
certain margin.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much for giving us such a detailed analysis of the Nilambur by-election, what it might hold forward, what are the things at stake. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.